I wonder how many. You know, if they're really crying out for crash damage money to repair it, just hit up the casino. Like, come on, Williams, I could think of that. Why can't you? Maybe they're going to send Colapinto to Caesar's Palace afterwards to pay for all the damage he's done. We're live. Hello, hello. How you going? Turn 15? It's been a few weeks, I'm fucking lost now. Turn 15 channel. Las Vegas Grand Prix, round 22 of this year's F1 World Championship. Round 22 means that we've only got today, next week, including the sprint, and then the one after to go. 24 races. I can't believe they're actually going to get it done. Never been done before, been attempted, but never been done. So well done, F1. You've taken up nearly half of our year. Which I love, but Jesus Christ, it's really starting to get long in the tooth. Championship fight's basically done now after last time out, because last time out we had an amazing race in Brazil. Fantastic, lots of action, couple red flags, which was quite a thing at that time of the morning, but brilliant race, lots of fun, lots of passing, and at the end of the day, Max Verstappen now with 1.5 hands on the championship. I think Lando has absolutely fuck all chance of doing it. He can take it to Qatar next week as long as he finishes ahead of Max Verstappen. Spoiler, he's starting behind Max Verstappen today. I don't see it. I was calling it all year, I think Max has it in the bag. I think he started too strong. McLaren waited too long to get their car sorted, to get their car properly quick enough to start doing a title fight. And then they had, moments like Monza and Hungary where they kind of fucked things up, but whatever. Max Verstappen, I think 8 Grand Prix wins now this season so far. Potentially one tonight, maybe not, but potentially another one left for the rest of the season. It's a worthy world championship. I think Max Verstappen is going to find himself winning this year. So about 5 minutes or so before race start. There's been a few things going on actually. Since we were here last time, about 3 weeks ago, first things first. Well, God, where to start, actually? There's actually quite a bit that's gone on. So, I've been going on about it a lot. And here we go. The Sauber seat is confirmed. The second seat is confirmed. Gabriel Bortoleto, Brazilian F2 driver, F2 rookie, F3 champion in his rookie season, last season. Looks very, very quick. Looks very, very good. So, which, unfortunately for Valtteri Bottas and for Zhou Guanyu, they are both out on their ass. One of them, at least, wasn't going to make it. Now they're both not going to make it next year. That's the way of this sport, I guess. I think for each of them, they've had a decent stint. So if it is the last time we see them racing in Formula One, they've had an okay run. Zhou Guanyu got 3 years, which is, it's a fair crack at the whip. And Valtteri Bottas, what has he got? Like something like 8 or 10 wins. I think 10 wins in Grand Prix. He's been around for about 12 seasons now. I think he's, that's a decent career. It's a decent career. If you never see him again, he did all right. Just looking at the track map now on the Sky broadcast. So anyway, how about we run through the grid so far? George Russell on pole. Amazing stuff out of George Russell. Mercedes has looked quick. Lewis Hamilton didn't look that quick in qualifying, but Mercedes itself does look very quick this week. George Russell on pole. Carlos Sainz second. Amazing lap. Pierre Gasly third, probably with the lap of the decade to put that piece of shit Alpine up in third, which is where he finished last time out, if I remember correctly, in Brazil. So, start as you've just finished. Great stuff for Gasly. Great stuff. So we'll see what he can do from there. I'd be surprised if he keeps hold of that podium, because Charles Leclerc is starting 4th right behind him. Then you got Max Verstappen. Then Lando Norris. Yuki Tsunoda 7th. Piastri 8th. Hulkenberg 9th. Hamilton, disaster over Q3, down in 10th. Then Ocon 11th. Kevin Magnussen 12th. Zhou Guanyu 13th. Liam Lawson down in 14th. Checo Perez starting 15th after getting knocked out in Q1. So another poor showing out of Sergio Perez. And at this point, it's starting to remind me a bit of Alex Albon, a bit of Pierre Gasly. At least Albon had a strong race to finish his stint. It reminds me a lot of Pierre Gasly, where he's just lost. Totally lost. Doesn't know. Nothing's working, and he doesn't know exactly how to fix it. Just nothing. The struggle continues unabated for Checo Perez, which is a bloody shame for him and a bloody shame for Checo Perez fans. But we'll see if he's back next year, actually, because I'm starting to think I'm starting to hear that he might end up coming back after all. So you never know. Red Bull, once again, total wild card. Anything could happen. Fernando Alonso 16th, Albon 17th after having a Q1 lap deleted. Stroll 18th, just made qualifying after his car basically grenaded itself in practice 3. Bottas 19th, copying an engine penalty there, and Colapinto starting from pit lane after making it through to, I think it was Q2, and absolutely pancaked the car against the wall. Totally fucked it up, which is exactly what Williams don't need. They've just gone through big crashes in Mexico, Cota, and Brazil. They had massive wrecks there. Really can't be affording more crash damage. And I mean, they are struggling now. They're struggling for spare parts. They're struggling with the budget cap as well now, because these lads just will not keep the fucking cars on the road. They just have to throw them in the walls. I mean, it's a shame. It's not like it's a consistent thing. Well, maybe kind of a pattern emerging for Colapinto. It's just a shame more than anything. You know, you push, and then you just push that little bit too far, and the consequences around here are enormous, because it's, even though it's a street circuit, it's a very quick street circuit. Not like the old Vegas street circuit, which was a complete pile of dog shit. This one, very quick. And I was saying it all last year as well. I was saying this track looks good. It looks good for overtaking, for passing, for racing, because it's very basic. It's quite wide. And there's a lot of long straights, and that's pretty much the 3 things you need to ensure that you're going to have a decent race. So tyres are coming off the cars now on the grid. Looking down the grid, looks like Checo, Bottas, Colapinto all starting on the hards, Alonso on softs, everybody else on the mediums. We're hearing it's going to be a one-stop race. That's what they're expecting. That's what Pirelli is expecting at least. So we'll see if that comes to be. Now, any more news? Alpine Mercedes deal official. So we knew that was coming. It's now official. The Renault engine is dead. So it's a shame for everybody in Viry and France, but you know, this is new Alpine, and Renault in name only, I think, is the new... Oh, the cars are taken off, is the new mantra of the team. Niels Wittich has left as the race director, left the FIA. From what we heard, he was sacked after Brazil. I don't know if that was because there was a couple of dodgy calls in Brazil, but whatever. It's very strange to sack the race director with 3 races still to go. They brought in, I forget his name, but he is the guy who was doing F2 and F3. Previous wins, Verstappen, Alboreto, and Alan Jones. So it has been a while. Apart from last year, it was a while since they were in Vegas. Alan Jones's name on the board. You don't see that much anymore. Consigned to history. Yeah, so it's a hell of a thing for the FIA, for F1, well, for the FIA really, just to throw out its race director with a little bit of the season to go. So we'll see how he goes, how he gets on now. It's going to be a baptism of fire the next 3 races. Luckily for him, the championship fight is basically done. Constructors' Championship is a different sort of matter, but this championship's basically, the Drivers' Championship is, it's over. It's over. And I've been saying it's over for a while, and maybe there's a little bit of hope, but no, it's totally fucked. Feels like waiting for a Mike Tyson punch out in round 8. It's not coming. It just ain't coming. F1's doing a launch event next year for the first time ever. All 10 teams will be launching liveries. Not really the cars, but liveries in London the week before testing starts in Bahrain next season. So we'll see how that goes. It's a new thing for F1, and you know, we'll see. Some of the launches, some of the team launches are decent when, you know, they do it themselves. Some of them are complete dog shit. So, you know, this couldn't be worse than some of the team launches I've seen in the past. I'll put it that way. We'll see how it goes. Red Bull, there's been a lot of talk about the Red Bull rear wing so far. They reckon they brought the wrong spec, basically, for the long straights. I mean, a lot of these rear wings are really trimmed out. They look like the wings that you see running in the Indy 500. They're just so shallow. Maybe even more than Monza, but some of the teams very concerned that they might be sitting ducks on the straights here as George Russell and Carlos Sainz pull up. I can see Bottas still approaching the final chicane. So they're going to be sitting on the grid for a little while here. No real danger of overheating here, I wouldn't think, because it is cold in Las Vegas at night. I mean, it's Nevada desert. Of course it's fucking cold at night, but not as cold as it was last year. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. The track tends to ramp up. I mean, the whole thing was tarmac before the race last year, so it's not like they're racing on that shitty concrete that you see at places like Long Beach. This is about as close to F1 tarmac as you can get away with. Here we go. So that's Lance Stroll pulling up. No, I tell a lie. That was Alonso pulling up, but Stroll is right behind him. Here comes Bottas around the final little bit of a turn. And here we go. Lights are coming. 2, 3, 4, 5. There they go. All right, decent start out of Russell. Okay start out of Sainz. Gasly looks like he's going to be right up ahead, but not quite there. How slippery is it going to be into turn 1? Norris and Max getting very, very close. Oh, Charles Leclerc around the outside of Carlos Sainz and up to second. So what a start for Charles Leclerc. Wow. Oscar Piastri's getting bullied out in the back. Jesus, that is a hell of a start for Charles Leclerc. Wow. Absolutely killed it. Oh, that's Tsunoda and Piastri getting very, very close there at the back. So critically, Verstappen is ahead of Norris. If he finishes ahead of Norris, basically in any position, it's over. Looks like one of the Alpines, that must have been Ocon, just cut through one of those corners over the apex there. So the big things today to watch for. Verstappen winning a championship. Oh, that's very, very close between a Haas and Liam Lawson. My goodness. Oh, Christ. That's, God, it makes me fucking nervous just how close they race sometimes. Because this track, I mean, the crashes that you have at this track are closer to what you would get on an oval track. I mean, the wall is right on top of the cars. Right on top of the cars, and it is so bloody quick. Just look at that dust and shit flying up. The dust and the sparks. So Checo up past Fernando Alonso. The Haas and Liam Lawson are still side by side. Are they going to make contact? Surely. How are they going to fit through there? Wow, they've done it. Amazing. I for all my life, I wouldn't have thought that they would get through there. God, they are really going hard at it. That's what she said. Checo Perez now pulls out the inside of Alex Albon and gets through. Wow, it is going off. Absolutely amazing. So here we are, lap 2. Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly, Verstappen, Norris, Tsunoda, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Hamilton. No, Hülkenberg, it seems, has just gone above Oscar Piastri. He's jumped him off screen here. We're on board with Max Verstappen, looking at Pierre Gasly. So Gasly has fallen out of the podium already. I didn't think that he would stay there this race. I mean, he's got a lot of really quick cars behind him, but now it's how quickly can Max Verstappen get by the Alpine, if he can. I mean, he got by him last race rather in Brazil, so I'd assume that he can do it. Surely he can do it. 48 laps to go, surely he's going to do it. Now, K-Mag's fallen behind Fernando Alonso as well, so that fight with Liam Lawson has actually cost him another place. I think coming into turn 1, he would have been just had the door opened for him by Fernando Alonso. So Verstappen, I mean, right now, all Verstappen has to do, he could just finish here for the rest of the race, and it doesn't matter as long as Norris is behind him. He's a champion. I mean, I think the gap is something like 66 points or something like that. There's not that many points left to go. No, 66 would put it out of... No, it wouldn't put it out of reach. Of course it wouldn't. If he can stay ahead of Norris, that's it. It's done. That's really it. So, let's see what Lando can do. Lando has been absolutely despondent as well. Ever since the end of the Brazil race, where it just totally fell apart. Went off at turn 4, went off on a restart at turn 1. Not great. Joe Lawson incident, leaving the track and gaining an advantage has been noted. So, ooh. I mean, Joe is up in 12th. Liam Lawson was fighting with Kevin Magnussen, so we'll have to see who has left the track and gained the advantage there. So, here we go. Lap 3, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly, Verstappen. Oh, I'll just reshift here. Norris, Tsunoda, 7th. There's been a bit of talk, actually, about Checo Perez keeping his seat after all. I mean, I have no idea what the fuck's going on with Red Bull. I'm not sure they do either. Oh, Leclerc getting very, very close to Russell there. Pushed 0.3 seconds. Sainz has dropped a little bit further behind them. What is he, 1.2 now behind Charles Leclerc, so... It was a hell of an effort out of Carlos Sainz yesterday, but I kind of hope that he can keep that up today. Charles Leclerc, fastest lap. He is on the move. Here we go. Turn 14. Incident involving cars 30 and 20 noted. So that is the fight between Lawson and K-Mag. Did get very, a little bit argy-bargy there. Mercedes has caught something as well. I think it's caught a bag or some shit on its floor, so that's going to be a minor inconvenience for him. I mean, things like that really... I mean, it's good that it's not like a solid piece, like a bit of wing or bodywork or some shit that is interfering with the aeroflow there, but something like that will... You'll notice that. Like, George Russell definitely will be noticing that as he's driving around. Oh, Charles Leclerc, side by side, George Russell. Max Verstappen is by Pierre Gasly as well. So Max Verstappen up to 4th, Gasly 5th, Norris in 6th, so it is still, I mean, it was all over before, but it is still all over, side by side. Almost side by side, Charles Leclerc and George Russell, very, very close to the wall, Charles Leclerc. Oh, they're side by side through turn 1. Oh, was there a little bit of a touch? There was definitely a twitch. On Charles Leclerc's hands, definitely a twitch, and now he's picked something up in his little antenna as well. He's dropped back a little bit here. There might have been Alonso in the pits as well. So the softs didn't work. Either the softs didn't work, or maybe he's picked up a bit of debris or something like that. So Russell, Leclerc, Sainz now very, very close with each other. Within 2 seconds, those three drivers. You could see George Russell just a little bit more daylight this time, back to Leclerc, so he's pulled out. False start, Piastri. Jesus. Whoopsie. Fuck. So I'm guessing that's like Checo did a couple races ago and he's just been outside of his grid spot. Not great. Piastri's had some real highs this year. Real highs and real strong drives. Like Monza was a statement. I think Hungary was a statement. Baku, where he won, that was absolutely brilliant. But he's also had a couple of absentee races. And this looks like if he's gone past his grid spot, then it's just one of those needless bonehead moves. So we'll see what the wash-up is. George Russell fastest lap as he starts lap 6. We'll see what the wash-up is from that. Piastri, oh, he looks a little bit out of his grid spot there. So just a replay at the start. What have we got? So Sainz had a decent enough start. He just sort of drifts out wide to cover off Gasly, and Leclerc just goes right up the inside of him. Oh, look at Piastri. It was almost 3 wide back there with the Haas and the RB. The RB that looks like a Sauber from like 2004 lately. It's actually quite a nice colour scheme they got on it. Don't mind that. Don't mind it at all. So on board with Charles Leclerc. Just keeps it to the inside and just the whole... like... It's like he's Moses Leclerc. The whole thing just opens up for him and then just there he goes. So on board with Max Verstappen for the start. Bit of an average start. Does okay. Sort of keeps up with Charles Leclerc. Just waits for those Pirellis to bite, and oh, he almost got drilled by Tsunoda behind him as well. Crucially, side by side and ahead out of turn 3 with Lando Norris there. That's really all that he had to do today, is just cover him off, and here we go. So what is this? Looking back from Lewis Hamilton. He had a lot of cars just come right up behind him and just sort of fan out. I'm going to have another look at that Lewis Hamilton start, because it didn't look like he got a great one. It looks like he kind of held up a couple of cars, and maybe they it's just a replay. So there was contact. K-Mag and Lawson. K-Mag on the radio saying that Lawson was moving. Almost bump drafting. Dear God. I mean, Lawson is desperate for that Red Bull seat, and he's really, really going hyper aggressive in his cameo so far this year. K-Mag, I don't think really gives a shit, because he's out in his ass no matter what. Would love to see him in an IndyCar again. Only got one of those, but it's a shame all the good seats are gone already. I think K-Mag in an IndyCar would be great, but I wouldn't want to see him just wasting away in a half-funded Dale Coyne car. Anyway, lap 7, George Russell, 2.2 seconds now, back to Charles Leclerc. 2.7 seconds from Russell to Sainz. So Sainz is really keeping up Charles Leclerc here. I think maybe Chuck might have taken a little bit out of his tyres trying to get past George Russell here. Now here's Lewis Hamilton on Oscar Piastri around the outside, down the long straight. Oh, Sainz is also having a go at Charles Leclerc ahead of them. Sainz is going through. Sainz is up to second. Piastri, Hamilton still side by side, like Mansell and Senna. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Piastri just keeps ahead, just stays ahead. It's actually kind of it's kind of crazy once Lewis had, pulled out. Oh, there's going to be a big aero wash out of Lewis in that last sweeper. Almost sent him right into the wall. You see that in oval racing all the time, when the car in front will move ahead of you and just the aero just washes off. All the grip just fades away from the car and it just loses its turning and just starts, heading towards a wall. There's actually a couple of oval characteristics here. Very, very low downforce, very close walls, and sweeping corners. A couple of really, really quick sweeping corners too. Crofty's saying there's a bit of wind around as well, which isn't that surprising. David Croft himself is the originator of a lot of hot wind. So here we are, lap 8, Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen. So a little bit of a switch around. Gasly, Norris, Tsunoda, Piastri, Hamilton, Hulkenberg. We are watching Piastri and Hamilton. Now we're not. Now we're on board with Max Verstappen on Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc has really fallen off here. Carlos Sainz has left him behind. Really left him behind. And now he's going to lose another spot to Max Verstappen. What is going on? So Verstappen moving to the inside, and he's past Charles Leclerc before they even get to the chicane at turn 15. Amazing that. Something's going on with Charles Leclerc there. Norris ahead of Gasly as well has just happened. So I wonder what in the world is going on with Charles Leclerc. Oh, Gasly looks like he's going to come back at him. Sort of, not quite. Has a look. Lando Norris has covered the middle of the track, which is very, very clever by him. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, not going to fit it. Not going to fit it there through turn 2, turn 3. Now Lewis Hamilton is having another look at Yuki Tsunoda as well. Oh, Tsunoda just moves to cover off Lewis Hamilton. This is a great track, isn't it? It is just brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, Hamilton, little look on the inside, not quite going to make it near the sphere. So yeah, apparently it is the tyres. It is the problem with Charles Leclerc then. So whoopsie. So we'll see what Sainz can do now, but he is 5.5 seconds behind George Russell. So I imagine Carlos Sainz doesn't want to push his tyres at all here. And that Mercedes of George Russell is just slowly disappearing into the distance. They've been quick. They have topped every session so far. Or Charles Leclerc, box. So Charles Leclerc is going to get those rubber boots off and come in for new ones. Lewis Hamilton passed Yuki Tsunoda. So Lewis up 7th, Tsunoda down to 8th. Piastri just about keeping in contact with these guys at 9th, and now Nico Hulkenberg is right behind Piastri in 10th. Checo Perez has moved by Liam Lawson. Man, we should have been watching that. That would have been fun. Lando Norris, box. So Charles Leclerc in the pits, Lando Norris in the pits as well. Here we go. It doesn't look like a great stop out of Ferrari, that. Oh, 2.5. No, it just looked messy when they cut to it. Just looked messy, but it was alright. So here comes a Williams at the back. That looks like Alex Albon. Yes, it is. Lance Stroll as well behind him. So the pit stop shuffle has started. That's a lot of wear coming from these tyres if they're only going to do a one stop as well. So I'd say the one to keep an eye on now, Bottas, Colapinto, Perez, how far that they can push those tyres, those hard tyres, because it might indicate if we're going to get a one or a two stop race. I get the feeling it'll be a one stop race, but maybe some brave soul might try number 2. Ha. Oscar Piastri penalty, that'll be for the false start. 5 seconds. Whoops. Yeah. Shame for him. Here we go. Max Verstappen on Carlos Sainz. Is he going to get it? Now, this is a Red Bull that has been struggling on the straights as well. And just look at it go. Killed it. And Max Verstappen is ahead. Well ahead by the time they get to turn 15. And here comes Carlos Sainz into the pits. That's shocking to me. How quickly the Ferraris have dropped off here. Now, Verstappen, Russell. Let's see how quick Max Verstappen really is, because George Russell has absolutely been the benchmark of pace ever since qualifying. Gasly, Tsunoda, Piastri all in the pits. So Piastri is going to cop that penalty, and that's going to send him way out of the points here, I think. Now, Leclerc, Norris, they're the ones to watch. Leclerc is where is he going to end up? He's going to be... Oh, here we go. So this is the replay. He's just missed it. Piastri has... by a bee's dick. Well, I don't know about that. That looks like a contentious VAR call, that one. I mean, the FIA has stewards, they have all the data, they can tell exactly where that car was. Usually it's a transponder. If not being pointed out by a marshal, then it would be a transponder that's ticking over in the wrong place, but I wonder about that. Looks very, very, very close, and maybe a little bit harsh. Didn't really do anything for him either. He's had a pretty average start, so Piastri has come out behind Fernando Alonso, only just in front of Alex Albon. He'll have either fun or a terrible day trying to get back into the points from there. Now here's Checo Perez past Zhou Guanyu and gets it done. Verstappen in the pits. Here we go. So not only is George Russell quick as shit, but he's also going the furthest on this set of tyres as well. Lewis Hamilton goes around and he is still in the race too. Lewis Hamilton now 15.6 seconds behind George Russell. Mercedes R1-2. I don't think it's exactly what they were thinking. I don't think it's what any of us were thinking after P2, P3, but... Max Verstappen comes out right in the middle of all this fucking traffic too, so that's not great. Now, the good thing for him, he's ahead of Sainz, he's ahead of Leclerc, but he has come out in an absolute mess of traffic here. Colapinto's having a look. Now, what is Colapinto going to do with Carlos Sainz? He's going to cut him off. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Young fella trying to make his name, you know. Oh, Sainz having another look inside Colapinto. Can't quite get it done. And there's Verstappen past the Sauber. They're calling that Joe. Sorry, it's Valtteri Bottas. Now, Colapinto's got to keep his wits around him here because while there are all of these quicker guys coming through, he might be able to latch onto one of these and follow through. It might help him get past Bottas. What he can't do is lose time to these quicker cars coming by. Now, the good thing for him, as Russell hits the pits, the good thing for him is there are no blue flags because this is for position. Those cars are just on the hard tyres and they are out really of position. 2.4 second stop for George Russell, so it looks absolutely perfect for him. Lewis Hamilton goes through into the lead. So Lewis is making his tyres last. Goodness. Charles Leclerc. Colapinto as well, so both the Ferraris now past the Williams. Franco's starting to lose a bit of ground here, and he's got Lando Norris coming right up behind him as well. It's kind of that tough position where you want to establish that you're a driver who's worth picking for next year, either by Red Bull or, you know, anybody really. You want to keep your name in everybody's mind that this kid is, you know, he's got it, he's an up-and-comer, we're gonna keep up for him. What is that? Lance Stroll in the pits. What is this? There is an absolutely horrible pit stop going on about. Oh, that's side by... Okay, so everything's going off here. Side by side here. What is that? Is that Yuki Tsunoda running over the pit board, the pit exit board at the end of the pits, side by side with an Alpine? Alright, why not? You know, there are points in some races where a lot just starts happening all at once and you just start to think, what the flying fuck am I watching here? So, clumsy shit out of Yuki Tsunoda. So, he's being let almost off into the path of that Alpine as he's coming out of the pits. Hamilton hits the pits, by the way. George Russell goes through, so George Russell still in first, then Checo, Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg up the third, wow. Still on the mediums too. So the Haas are actually making their tyres work. K-Mag's still out in the race as well as Hamilton comes out right in the middle of all of this, so he's right behind Lando Norris. Lewis has made that work. He's really made that work. I mean, where was he running like before Tsunoda? Behind Tsunoda and Gasly and Piastri before, and look at all the positions he's made up now. I mean, Piastri did have that penalty, but still. Alright, so what I was saying before, looks like one of the Aston Martins, I think Lance Stroll had a terrible pit stop and they weren't ready for him at all. That's Lando Norris getting past Kevin Magnussen. So Lewis Hamilton now right up behind that Haas. So Perez and both the Haases, Bottas, Colapinto, the only cars who have not pitted yet. Everybody else on brand new rubber. Hamilton radio, what the hell, how many places have I lost? I think he thinks that he's gone backwards because he can see a Haas. I don't think he realizes that... I mean, he's around a Haas and a Sauber and a Williams, so he probably thinks he's been sent right to the back. But no, that stop worked out quite well for him. I think he's maybe got the wrong idea there as he gets past Kevin Magnussen and goes up to 8. So... now, the fun begins. What can Lewis Hamilton do against Lando Norris, against the Ferraris, against Verstappen? Hulkenberg, Perez still up there as well. Hulkenberg's in the pits now, so that's a little bit more position for those drivers behind him. Now, where is Hulk going to come out, I wonder? Yeah. Mercedes just saying we would have dropped even more places. We would have dropped another 5 places if we waited longer. I think Lewis has just gotten confused because of who he's racing with. So he's doing well there. Hamilton, what can he do against the McLaren, against the Ferraris? Can he reach the Red Bulls? I get the feeling he's definitely going to get past Perez once Perez hits the pits, but can he reach Max Verstappen? It's been a while since we had like a proper Verstappen-Lewis fight. Kind of in the mood for one. That was always very fun. So just watching Yuki Tsunoda here. Looks like he's behind Valtteri Bottas on the track. Running in 10th. Gasly's saying... Okay, so Gasly's screaming on the radio saying that he's got no power. Piastri's just gone by him. Alright, so... problems, potentially. A lot of problems for Pierre Gasly. And there it is, you can see it. He did say no power. That whole thing is blowing up. Wow. Shit. Alright, so Gasly... His engine started blowing up on the back straight. And he's just pulled into the pits. This will be it. So, yeah, really is no power. So, fuck. The third place on the grid, unfortunately for him, is... it's all coming to nothing. Shame that. Oh man, says Pierre Gasly. Indeed. So that is a real shame for Pierre. It's a shame for Pierre and it's a shame for Alpine because they bagged so many points last week. It's a shame they can't keep it running again, especially seeing as a Haas is running 8th and they are the main rivals now to finish 6th in the Constructors' Championship. Speaking of a Haas, it is Kevin Magnussen. Yuki Tsunoda is having a very, very tentative look at the back of him. K-Mag probably can't fucking believe why he's fighting with so many RBs here. Now, where's the other one gone? 17th. Alright then. Oh, here comes Lewis Hamilton on the inside of Lando Norris, so he's through. There we go. Tsunoda gets past Kevin Magnussen. Look at this little mess of cars as well. We've got Alonso with the Williams and one of the Saubers. Now that looks like Colapinto coming into the pits. Finally getting rid of those tyres. K-Mag is still going on with his old tyres as well. Amazing. Oh, and it's this Charles Leclerc on Sergio Perez. Look at all the wing that they've trimmed off. Quite literally trimmed off the back of Sergio Perez's car. Looks like a right mess. And that's Charles Leclerc. Nice little 1-2-zy around where the sphere chicane is. And he's through. Lovely stuff. Well done, Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton now having a look at Perez. So Hamilton surely is going to get through very soon. Checo is still on 16 lap old tyres. And those tyres have taken an absolute beating. They started the race and they've been running on very heavy fuel. Oh, Checo very wide at the exit of that corner there. Pardon me. Lewis Hamilton now on the outside of Perez down that long, long, long Las Vegas strip straight. Looks like Norris is going to try to follow him through as well. So Perez down 2 positions in one straight. I think those tyres are cooked. I think he needs to get off those boots ASAP. Which is a hell of a thing. 16 laps on those hard tyres. And they're just... Yeah, and here he goes into the pits. It's the other side of trying to start basically with a reverse strategy. If they're thinking it's a one-stop strategy, then you'd start on the mediums typically and then go to the hards. So Alonso tried the softs and it didn't work. He was off after 5 laps. But 16 laps on the hards to start with. That's really not a lot. It's like Kevin Magnussen in the background as well is hitting the pits, and so is Valtteri Bottas. So that was everybody who hasn't pitted yet. So that's Max Verstappen just getting by Sergio Perez. Easy as you like. Easy as you like. I don't think Checo's going to fight that one too hard. So on board with Gasly here. Obviously a replay because that poor sorry son of a bitch is sitting on his ass right now. And yeah, it's just the engine just starting to blow. Look at that fucking thing. It looks like it's punched a hole through the back of the side pod. That is a proper engine blow up. Pardon me. So here we go, lap 18 of 50. Lewis Hamilton now having a look at Charles Leclerc. Oh, not quite getting through there. It's getting very, very close. You can just see how much speed that Mercedes has. Science Radar, let me know as soon as possible. It's going to be plan C because it changes everything. Give us 2 laps and we'll come back to you. So I think Ferrari are just checking the wear on his tires. So everybody, it looks like 2 stops might be the way to go then. Which is a shame if you're Fernando Alonso. You might be doing 3 stops after all. Anyway, lap 19. George Russell, Max Verstappen, about 10 seconds behind. Then Sainz 2 seconds behind. Leclerc 3.5. Hamilton right on his ass. You can see here. Norris just about hanging into both of them. Tsunoda, Piastri, Albon, Alonso. That's top 10 so far. We have done a pit stop shuffle. Everybody's mostly on new-ish rubber. Only about 5 or 6 laps for most of them. Some of them on brand spanking new tires. Tsunoda's actually doing great. Just thinking about the Red Bull seat potentially for next year. Tsunoda's doing great in 7th. Still probably not going to end up with a ride in that Red Bull. Liam Lawson's looking a lot more like Daniel Ricciardo every Grand Prix so far. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't think they want to keep Checo around, but every other alternative is just sort of not doing anything. I'm not sure what you can even do. Oh, Hulkenberg passed Alonso into 10th as well, as you can see on the side of the screen there. I'm not sure what you could even do if you're Red Bull with that second seat. I mean, no matter who they put in there, Max is probably going to wipe the floor with him, unless you go for a very, very, very top target. You need somebody who is going to be very quick, like some of the cream of the crop. Hamilton, well, he's off to Ferrari, and that would never happen anyway. Never, never, never. I don't even think Lewis would want to go for it. I'd be surprised if the sight of Christian Horner makes him physically sick. I mean, to my money, Red Bull should have swallowed their pride and gone for Carlos Sainz when he became available. He is the most perfect driver of all of these that you could put in. He is... he's quick, as you can see. Today he's running ahead of Charles Leclerc. He's quick. He's smart. He's great technically. You know, he brings so much. I mean, he is what they wanted out of Checo Perez. He is that driver. He's very, very solid, very reliable. If you're looking for a number 2 who could fill in as a number 1 occasionally, like that's basically your go-to guy. But they fucked up. They missed out on him. They persevered with Ricciardo, who was just starting to tail off, and it was never going to happen. And now they're kind of stuck. They've never been that crazy about Lawson. And we'll see. We'll see what Liam can do for the rest of the night. We'll see what he can do in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. But he's kind of running out of opportunities now to really stamp his authority in there. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda is just sitting over there in the ignored corner. It's like that, what's that fucking Wojak meme or some shit? Some guy just by himself at a party. It's just Yuki Tsunoda in the corner looking at Horner and Marco and all the Red Bull guys just being like, they don't even know that I'm quick. You know? Shame that. Shame for Yuki, but, you know, we'll see where he ends up, because he is doing very well. That car's been very, very inconsistent all year. Like, it's very hard to figure out exactly where the car is, because it hasn't looked good at all. But Tsunoda has definitely had his highlights this year in that piece of shit. Now, points as they run, of course, Max Verstappen is going to be champion. They were just advertising that. I don't know why they even bother putting it up. Max Verstappen's basically the champion. I was watching the MotoGP last week when they crowned Jorge Martin as a new champion, and he did his like whole fucking Terminator thing, and what was it? Quartararo when he got crowned champ, how he had like that massive, terrible CG devil fucking flossing or whatever the fuck it was doing, or dancing and shit, or Marc Marquez when he was winning championships, how he'd have like what I think it was like a video game one time or Pool the other or some shit, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for Valentino Rossi. But I wonder if they do anything like that in Formula One. You know, like I mean, it skirts that fine line between funny and very cringe, but it's probably harder to get out of an F1 car than get back into it like they can on the bikes. To do that sort of shit. I do wonder if Liberty wants to maybe push something like that in Formula 1. Just thinking out loud, really. So here we go. Russell, lap 22. Russell, 10 seconds now ahead of Verstappen. Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton, half a second behind Charles Leclerc. Then Norris, 3.5 behind them. Tsunoda, Piastri, Albon, Hulkenberg. So it's starting to settle down a little bit here. Bottas right on the back of K-Mag, but that's for 19th and 18th. Hulkenberg on the back of Albon, that's for 10th and 9th, so that's one to watch. And then Hamilton right on the back of Leclerc for 4th and 5th. Everybody else is just kind of backing off here. I think they are sort of realizing that they need to calm the fuck down a little bit to make it to the end. Russell now over 10 seconds in front of Max Verstappen. I think Russell's going to get this, and this will be, well, his second, but really it's his third win of the season, so... pardon me. I mean, one of those wins definitely was a gift. That being Austria. But he absolutely earned his win in Spa, and it was just taken off him, so this looks like... Norris, the front right looks like it's about to go any lap, so yeah, they are still wearing through those tyres. Ooh, Hulkenberg. Very quick reactions to get past Alex Albon there in the straight. The cars are going so quick there. They really, really are. I think any almost attempt to block off another car behind, not like block, but just to, you know, make them work for it on that back straight going into the 14, 15, 16 chicane, it's quite dangerous, I think. I mean, they're going so fast here. It's like oval racing. Hamilton radio, man, these guys are fast in the straight. They are, yeah. So what's that, the Ferraris? They are very fast in the straight. Well, here we go. Pardon me. My nose is almost as full of shit as Ted Kravitz. I am still recovering from that cold. What I had since Brazil, so lucky me. Anyway, where are we? Lap 24, Russell Verstappen. A little bit of time. I think Russell's just managing that gap to Verstappen now. 10 seconds is a very, very decent chunk of time. That is Zhou Guanyu getting past Fernando Alonso, so Alonso's tyres are really starting to hit their limits now. 18 laps he's done on them. And Zhou has done, 11 laps on his, but you can see just... I mean, that Sauber is so much quicker than the Aston Martin, which is something I never thought I would be saying this year. Oh. So let's see what Zhou Guanyu can do. I heard talk that Zhou might end up as a reserve at Ferrari. Don't know how true that is. I mean, they're they're young drivers. I mean, Mick Schumacher left the Ferrari Academy. Either left or was pushed. Who else did they used to have? Robert Schwartzman was one, but he's going to be doing IndyCar for Prema next year. So maybe there is an opening there. There's definitely an opening there. We'll see if it's him that they're going to put in there. Giovinazzi, I think, is just done as far as Formula One is concerned. Absolutely done. I mean, if you needed a spare driver, would you really want to put Giovinazzi in? Would you really want to put Joe in? But, you know, I would say what's the difference? Oh. Trying to do that balancing act here with me headphones. So here we go. Sergio Perez up the inside of Liam Lawson at the back straight. What is Liam going to do? He's going to just basically let him through. Alright, so Checo goes past Lawson. I get the feeling Lawson might have been getting a bit of a dressing down after his shenanigans the last few races in Mexico and Brazil. Probably telling him, like, stop fucking Checo around because we also need these points. I mean, Mexico was a bit of a disaster, but Checo definitely, I think, would have scored points that race. They wouldn't have been great points, but they would have been points. But for Liam Lawson, sort of throwing a spanner in those plans. And, I mean, Red Bull have fallen off. They've fallen back to third in the championship, in the team's championship, because I think because they've held on to Checo for so long. And the fact that just he is not delivering, but at the same time, you know, the times where he could contribute something, $300 million and $70, you know, that kind of shit. Liam's just basically sabotaging because he wants that seat for himself. Anyway, here we are on board with, who is this? Oscar Piastri. I love these in-helmet cameras. They just look fantastic. See just how bumpy the whole thing is. So Albon radio, they're going to need to retire the car. It's a shame for Williams. And he's running in 10th as well. Oh, that is pain. That is sheer pain for Williams there. As Piastri comes into the pit. So not sure what exactly is the issue with Alex Albon's car there. But Williams has seen something going wrong. They're just telling him to park him. So Zhou Guanyu now up to 9th place with Albon out of the race and Piastri in the pits. As Albon pulls into his pit stall there, and yeah, only half the mechanics are out. I think that car's fucked. I mean, the good thing for Williams is they don't have to repair that car now. Well, they don't have to rebuild it, rather. Sainz, let's get off these tyres, he says. Well, 2 stops after all. Here we go. Lap 26, by the way, of 50 we are running right now. That is Charles Leclerc having a little look up the inside of Carlos Sainz. So Sainz, I think, is well and truly done with his tyres. They're not that far off Max Verstappen. There he is, just up the road. As Lewis Hamilton obliterates whatever the fuck was just blowing across the track. God, there's so much shit around there. In fact, I saw a fucking video of the new race director. Oh, who's Charles Leclerc going wide at the apex of turn 1. Lewis Hamilton right up his ass now. Ah, my goodness. Just had to self-censor a bit of a sniff there. Okay, so I think it... Ted Kravitz is talking. Science Radio boxed me, guys. I mean, in what way is he talking? I think Carlos Sainz might want to actually box somebody at Ferrari after he's being thrown out after this season, because this has been probably Carlos Sainz's best season for Ferrari. He's just been brilliant. So Colapinto's in the pits as well. So suspected power unit issue. That's what Williams is saying. That's two of them now. A Mercedes and a Renault. Sainz swap positions. Carlos Sainz is told, and now he's looking in the mirror. He's going to let Charles Leclerc through. Lewis Hamilton's going to try to follow him through, though. Oh, just not going to get it done. Carlos Sainz, wily old fox, just stays ahead. Now they're going through the sweeper. Oh, Carlos Sainz into the pits, and so does Hamilton. So here we go. Oh, Sainz has overrun it. Wait a minute. Is Sainz allowed to... I'm not sure Sainz is allowed to do that. I think Sainz has just fucked himself here, so fan-fucking-tastic. Well done, lad. Well done. Max Verstappen's in the pits as well, but whatever. Fuck. I think, yeah, I wonder if that was a tactical fuck-up by Sainz, or if he just straight up fucked it up and meant to pit. Alright, so Ferrari's told him stay out, stay out. So that's going to be a fucking penalty. That'll be probably 5 seconds, which will put him off the podium. Fuck. God damn it. Alright, well, we'll see. We'll see what the FIA say about this, but I'm going to call it right now. I think it's a penalty. It's probably going to be 5 seconds, if not 10, but probably 5. Pain. Sheer fucking pain. Oh, this is a replay. Max Verstappen at turn 7. Just overshot the corner. Had to cut through the runoff, so no harm, no foul. Max is just sort of out there doing his own thing right here. This is Checo Perez getting by Zhou Guanyu, as you'd expect. So here we are, replay. Yeah, Carlos Sainz just goes straight... I mean, he's half in the pit lane and then he just goes straight back out of it. Alright. Well... And now he is pitting, after all. Science Radio, they said, what happened? They said, we are not ready. And Science says, wake up, guys, come on. You know, maybe Science isn't that upset about getting thrown out of Ferrari. I mean, this is just... It's just straight horse shit out of that team sometimes. It really fucking is. So, Science is basically fucked now. He's behind Lewis Hamilton, so that didn't work. And he'll probably end up copping a penalty as well. You son of a bitch. Ferrari turning into fucking Las Vegas here. Bunch of fucking idiots. It's just the it's the duality of Ferrari. They give you a quick car, but then they also just fuck everything else up. Awful. Anyway, where are we? Lap 30. Yay. Lap 30, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Verstappen, Hamilton, Sainz, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Checo, and Zhou Guanyu. Ocon, Lawson, Piastri down at 13th. Fuck, so he's not really making many inroads here. Alonso 14th, Kevin Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, Colapinto, Stroll running dead last in 18th. Stroll has just come out of the pits, and Albon and Gasly aren't finishing tonight. Tsunoda in the pits now. Fucking... It's taking the wind out of me sails there. That Sainz fuck up. It's annoying, because that would have been a really fun race there between himself and Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. It was turning into a lot of fun, and now it's just kind of turned into nothing. Shame that, real shame. whatever. Anyway, now let's not actually lose sight of the bigger picture, because now it's Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen on the road. 2 laps, 3 laps of tyres. This is it. This isn't a strategy offset. This is straight up for position here. I mean, this is for second in the race. They're a little bit too far to get to push for first, but definitely it's for second and third in the race. Charles Leclerc now, if he pits, will definitely come out behind Lewis Hamilton, so they have completely been undercut and they totally fucked that up. Norris, box. It's like Leclerc is going through as well. Yeah, Lando Norris in the pits, so here we go. And he actually goes into the pits, so good for him. Lewis Hamilton, fastest lap, he's on it. Here we go. He is really on it now. Less than a second behind Max Verstappen. My God, it's been what seems like an age and a day since we had Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, both in fast cars. Both going for position here. Oh, here we go. So we'll see how hard Max even wants to push it, to be honest. I mean, he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to finish ahead of Norris, and he's running ahead of Norris. This could be quite anticlimactic. It could be Max just letting Hamilton through and going, you know what? Don't have to do shit. See ya. See you on the podium. And Crofty now going on about 2021. So here we go, Lewis, Max Verstappen down the back straight along the Las Vegas Strip. Oh, he's getting very, very close. Sure, this is going to be a slam dunk. Easy. And look at Max, it's just going to let him go. Like I just said, probably quite anticlimactic. Why fight it? See you on the podium later. That's probably what he's thinking. Charles Leclerc into the pits. So I think Hamilton and Verstappen, maybe even Sainz, will quite easily get by him now. Yeah, there it goes. Now where is Sainz? Oh, maybe Sainz isn't... it's going to be close. I don't think he's going to get quite by him. Nope. Doesn't make it. Oh, Carlos is pulling on the inside of Charles Leclerc and he's going to go through. Now, I wonder if Ferrari are just going to tell Charlie to let Sainz go and maybe try to build him a bit of a gap. Verstappen radio. Max, just don't lose sight of our aim today, yeah? And Max saying, yeah, I'm just doing my race, which is just what I was saying, you know. I'll fight you another day. What's the point of doing it today? So, Live Constructors Championship. You know what? I think Mercedes... Oh, McLaren Mercedes, rather. Definitely not Mercedes. They're in no man's land. I think McLaren are actually going to win this. I mean, it looks good for them, but I really, really think they're going to get it done. Box, George Russell. Decent stop too. What is that, about 2.6? 2.4? How about that? Piastri down the inside of Zhou Guanyu. So Zhou down to 10th. Ocon in 11th. Lawson in 12th. Tsunoda in 13th. They're all coming for him. So Zhou, Ocon, Lawson all running about 20 lap old tyres. Tsunoda brand newies. So let's see what Yuki can do here. 3 seconds behind Lawson. I think unless... Let's Checo in and out of the pits again. So I think unless something dramatic happens, I think Tsunoda's going to finish comfortably ahead of Liam Lawson in this race. Which, again, is starting to give Red Bull doubts. Like, I was saying... I mean, while Ricciardo still had the seat, I was saying that they are not convinced of Liam Lawson. A lot of people are. A lot of people are absolutely convinced that he's world championship material or race winning material or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know. It's easy to come in and have a great cameo. Well, it's not easy. I know. I tell a lie, actually. But sometimes you'll come in, you'll have a great cameo, and you look fantastic. Nick DeVries at Monza in 2022 looked fantastic and got a Red Bull, well, an RB seat out of that. AlphaTauri, rather. Um, I mean, Lawson looked good last year. Doesn't look quite as good this year. Marcus Winkelhock led a fucking race. His only race he led. I mean, sure, it was, totally out of sequence with everybody else, but he led it. And he did look good. It was a decent cameo until, his car died on him. It's harder to just deliver, I think, week after week is what I'm trying to say here. It's harder to deliver week after week, and Red Bull really need somebody who can deliver week after week. Now, they've got a couple of other juniors who they, I think, want to try out. They've got Isaac Hadjar. Arvid Lindblad is stepping up to F2 next year. He's a really big one for them. So we'll see how he goes. It's Hulkenberg in and out of the pits. Oh, just out behind behind Yuki Tsunoda rather as well. So Tsunoda already done 4 laps on those tyres. Nico Hulkenberg, brand new, but I don't think that offset isn't going to be that dramatic. I think as long as Yuki keeps his head together, he could probably stay ahead. All right, lap 35. 15 laps to go after this one. So this race is actually quite, it's rushing by here. It's only been just over an hour since we got started here. Russell, Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc. Now, Sainz will have a penalty incoming. We haven't heard about that yet. Then Norris, Piastri, McLaren have looked well off today, haven't they? They just have never looked in it. I don't know if that's just I mean, they've still got a championship that they're going for, that team championship, but they really can't lose sight of that. Joe in the pits. Ocon in 8th, Tsunoda 9th, Lawson 10th. So Tsunoda now already passed his teammate. Then Hulkenberg in 11th, Alonso 12th. So now Lawson, all he's going to have to do is hold up Hulkenberg. The longer he can keep Hulk behind him, the better it is for Yuki, the better it is for the team, the better he looks to Helmut Marko and everybody else who matters. Is he going to get that seat next year? We'll see. I have heard... pardon me. I've heard maybe he'll get the seat. I've heard he's definitely getting the seat. I've heard he's not going to get the seat. I've heard it'll be Hadjar. I've heard that it'll be Perez. I've heard that it'll be Colapinto, who Red Bull are talking to. A whole lot of shit going on here. A whole lot of stuff's going on. You never quite know what Red Bull are going to do. Never quite certain. Oh, so you might just take a quick audio break here. Okay, and we're back. It's the other side of having quite a cold is the more I talk, the more it wants to come out my nose. So what did we miss? Lewis Hamilton has actually been catching up to George Russell here. That is Liam Lawson. With Alonso right on his ass down. Now Hulkenberg already got by Liam Lawson, so that's not great, but not a lot Liam can do against that. 24 lap old tyres versus 2. Sort of a foregone conclusion. Now that is Nico Hulkenberg going by Esteban Ocon as well. Fernando Alonso goes by Liam Lawson. Decent showing out of Alonso today, actually. A very decent showing out of Fernando Alonso. Looks like potentially those points for Sauber today have absolutely gone up in smoke. That's not going to happen. Turns out that car is actually rather shit. Now, Russell, 8.3 seconds back to Lewis Hamilton. So Lewis is absolutely on it here. He doesn't have the fastest lap. That is Charles Leclerc's, but he is going much quicker than George Russell right now. Now, is Russell trying to take it easier on his tyres? I don't think he's in danger of being underweight. I mean, famous last words, but I don't think he's going to be in danger of finishing underweight today. It's more to do with, I think a few things just wearing down beyond what they thought, including the tyres that he absolutely ran into the ground at Spa. So if Russell can stay ahead today, then he's going to keep it. However, Hamilton now, 8.048 seconds. Oh, this is going to be this is going to be tense for the finish. And this is, there we go, Lewis fastest lap. This is going to be very tense. So Alonso now up into 10th. Oh, this is Checo Perez 3 wide. That's not going to work. Oh, Kevin Magnussen backs out of it. Liam Lawson stays ahead. Checo, wow, that was a hell of a pass. Needed a lot of cooperation there. K-Mag backing out of that. That was 3 wide into where you'd struggle to get 2 through there. So fantastic. Well done. Well done by Checo. The old dog still got it in him, maybe. Oh, pardon me. So Lawson's making another enemy here. So here we go. Replay, Checo Perez. So the Haas has gone to the outside of the RB. Checo goes to the inside and just keeps it in there and leaves the other two to sort it out between themselves. Looking back. Here we go. So, yeah, it just suddenly goes from single file to 3 wide into the corner. And then the Haas has to back out of it, basically, because he's on the outside and there's a wall coming right at him. So here we go. Charles Leclerc again, fastest lap, right after Carlos Sainz had a fastest lap. So everybody is absolutely on it now. They're all trying to catch up to George Russell. Russell has 7.6 seconds now in hand. 12 laps to go, including the one that they are on right now. Oh. Magnussen now ahead of Liam Lawson. So Lawson's world tour of making enemies continues unabated. Colapinto now ahead of Lawson as well. Colapinto, unfortunately, looks like he's going to be scoring absolutely no points tonight, which is bad news for Williams because they're really starting to run out of points. Well, run out of places to score points now. Lawson in the pits. Surely he'll get out ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Bottas is way, way, way at the back now. In fact, Bottas is only just ahead of George Russell, so we're about to get a car go a lap down. Verstappen asking if he should even try to keep the Ferraris behind or what, and they were telling him, yes, we think you should. I mean, maybe try it. If they're going to absolutely send it, then probably let them through. But I think Sainz and Leclerc should know that as well, that they should just send it. I mean, Sainz really does need to send it and get by Max Verstappen and just disappear up the road as quick as he can, because if he is getting a penalty, I haven't heard anything about that yet, but if he is getting a penalty, he's going to need as much time as he can. He looks pretty safe to Norris behind him. Norris is now 13 seconds behind Charles Leclerc in 6th place, so McLaren, it looks like, have not even really come to the race this weekend. So Checo now up above Esteban Ocon. So Checo up to 11th. This thing's going on everywhere around here, isn't there? I mean, there's never more than a couple of minutes without something happening here at this track. It's fantastic. So both the Ferraris now right up the back of Max Verstappen, and now it's just who is going to finish on the podium here. I'd say Mercedes 1-2 is absolutely in the bag. 10 laps to go. The 1-2 is in the bag. Now I get the feeling it's starting to remind me of Spa. Actually, it's really starting to remind me of Spa. Russell actually got the younger, the fresher set of tires this time, so we'll see how much longer Hamilton can push it. We'll see if Russell responds. I get the feeling he will. I get the feeling it is going to finish 1-2 as it is. As for 3rd place, well, if Sainz wants to send it, I think Verstappen will just got to let him by. Oh, Tsunoda just staying ahead of Nico Hulkenberg as well. Big fight, that. Big fight. Oh, Carlos Sainz around the outside. Just having a look at Max Verstappen. Just having a quick peek. Like a thought at a bar. Just having a quick peek at him. Not gonna quite make it there. Oh, now Sainz and Leclerc both within DRS range of Verstappen and of each other. Not only that, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg half a second behind, Alonso half a second behind, so that's quite a fight that's going on back there as well. Oh, here goes Leclerc. No, that's Carlos Sainz rather, on the inside of Max Verstappen. Max just opens the door and lets him go. I think Max is keeping the bigger picture in his mind here. Doesn't need to win today. Doesn't need to do shit. All he needs to do is finish ahead of Norris, and he's going to do that comfortably. And it looks like he's going to do that by 1 place. And that's enough. That's enough. Charles Leclerc around the outside. Not going to quite make it happen. Verstappen is making him work for this one, but I get the feeling he's not going to go that defensive. I mean, you saw Verstappen absolutely defending beyond the limits. He started defending for his life against Lando Norris a few races ago, but this is very different. I think he's gonna just let him go right through if he really feels like Leclerc is just gonna send it. Now, this is good news actually for Carlos Sainz, because if he is gonna eat a penalty for that pit lane fuck up, then if he can leave Verstappen behind, it's probably for the best. Probably for the best now before Leclerc gets through, if he can make up something of a gap. Maybe he can make 5 seconds. Probably won't, but maybe he can. Speaking of 5 seconds, Hamilton now 5.6 seconds behind George Russell. 8 laps to go. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know about this. So Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc still running 3, 4, and 5. Norris now 11.6 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. Piastri nearly 17 seconds behind Lando Norris. So the McLarens are just absolutely out on their own here. They're really in no man's land, doing a bit of an Aston Martin. In fact, where are the Aston Martins now? 10th Alonso, 16th Stroll, Womp. Yeah. Another struggle session for Aston Martin this weekend. Can't wait till they actually can get rid of this car, go all in with the next one. Now, how much they're going to improve next year, I think, is a big mystery. They really need to. I don't think they can just focus solely on 2026. I mean, I could figure them for doing that because it makes sense to do that. But that car, I mean, the way that the Haas, the RB, and everybody else is trying to catch them, even the Alpine as well, I think you really, if you're Aston Martin, you cannot just keep running this same dog shit for another year because they could well finish 8th, you know, in the championship next year if they keep that sort of shit up. Oh, you know what? Actually, there's one more thing I can talk about while this is still going on. It turns out we might end up getting Andretti on the grid after all in 2026, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Michael Andretti's basically stepped away from the organization. He still owns it. He's going to be a a consultant, but he's no longer running it. And now the FIA has suddenly said, well, not the FIA rather. They always were happy to have him on board. F1 itself, Liberty Media, have suddenly said, you know what, maybe we will get Andretti on board after all. It's going to be more GM, less Andretti, really, this, if it's to be believed, you know. But they have been soldiering on with their plans all season, even after they were told no. You know, they've got Pat Fry on board now from F1 itself. They brought Pat Fry in to oversee the team technically, so no, Pat Fry, Pat Simmons, I forget which. It's the same fucking dude, who cares? It'll be good. It'll be good for F1, I think. And Michael Andretti has said before, if they can get the F1 team going, then he's going to also field an F2 and an F3 team. And that's what building the base in the UK is about. That's why they got so much bigger base back in Indianapolis as well. That is a team with a lot of ambition. A lot of ambition. And if you've followed IndyCars, you'd know that they have supported not just IndyCar, but the ladder, the ladder system, the road to Indy, as they call it. Pro Mazda, Indy Lights, USF 2000. A lot of fingers and a lot of pies, but they're a great organization, and they really, really, really will be they'll be a decent addition to the grid. They really will be. How competitive they will be, we'll see. But it will be by 2028 a full-blown factory effort out of GM with Cadillac branding, and we'll see. We'll see how they go, but I'm very, very excited personally to see it. That's 2 more spaces on the grid, so 2 drivers who right now are on the outside looking in, we could include. Exactly who that's going to be, I don't know, but if I'm somebody like Valtteri Bottas or Kevin Magnussen or even Franco Colapinto, maybe I'm on the phone to Michael Andretti and saying, hey, how about let me have a go. Nico Hulkenberg past Tsunoda now into 8th place. And Haas and RB are really, really neck and neck in that Constructors' Championship as well. So that is a big, big move out of Nico Hulkenberg there. Hulkenberg would be a decent high for Andretti, but he is off to Sauber Audi, as we all know, for next year. So Hulk, I think, making the most of his point finishes, at least for now. Leclerc has just jumped Sainz and Verstappen. What has gone on here? But that... Okay, yeah. So, just a bit of a timing line fuck up, that one. I was going to say, like, I'm watching Charles Leclerc behind him. George, just keep picking up the pace here. That is Radio 2 George Russell. So Hamilton now 4.9 seconds behind George Russell. 5 laps to go. They've just started the 5th last lap as well. So Sainz now is just out of DRS. DRS reach for Verstappen behind him, which means it's probably going to help Leclerc get through now. Verstappen was really holding on to the back of Sainz there, which is probably the best thing that he could have done, but he's not going to have the DRS help from ahead of him now, so I'd say Leclerc's probably going to get through this lap. Checo Perez right on the back of Fernando Alonso, so can Checo make it into the points? It looks like he's just jumped up. You know, it's an okay recovery from Checo today. It's okay. He'll have to finish ahead of Tsunoda. But I don't even know if Red Bull would want him to. I mean, they need an extra point. Maybe they could do something against Ferrari. That's probably why they want Verstappen to up the pace today and keep Leclerc behind him. They really need these points against Ferrari because Ferrari are going to finish ahead of them at the current rate. Esteban Ocon in the pits, so is this going to be for a fastest lap? And that's Charles Leclerc down the inside of Verstappen into the turn 14-15 chicane, and he's out ahead. There we go. Max Verstappen down to 5th, but he's still going to win the championship. Winning the championship in 5th position, just like Lewis Hamilton did in 2008. Just like Button did in 2009. And this is going to be it. Yeah, this will be it. So there'll be 2 Grand Prix and 1 sprint left to go in the next couple of weeks, and there will be just the team championship to fight for now. And just a replay, Leclerc just sending it up the inside, and about as easy as you can get. Again, I don't think Verstappen really wants to fight for a minor position like that. George Russell's just put half a second on Lewis Hamilton as well. 4 laps really to go. It's done. Here we go. So Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Perez. Now Perez is 1.23-ish. 1.2, 1.3 behind Tsunoda. We'll see what happens there. Tsunoda about 2 seconds behind Hülkenberg, so that's over. I think we might actually have our top 10 then. Oh, what's this? Lewis Hamilton just missing the apex of turn 7. Just going a little bit too deep through 6. Yeah, so that was where that gap that Russell has opened up. It's over. Yeah, it's over. 3 laps to go now. 6.1 seconds, it's done. So the chase is off. Lewis Hamilton will end up finishing second. You got to wonder how fun this race would have been, the fight between those two, had they both started up the top. Because Lewis he didn't have a good Q3. I think he had a lap deleted as well. Or did he? I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, didn't have a great time of it in Q3 yesterday, and you know, he's been quick. I think he's been quick enough to win today, but it's not going to get it done. It's going to end up being George Russell after all. So Mercedes saying that Lewis Hamilton's tyres have grained. So that's a shame for him. Now 6.6 seconds. I think Hamilton's just given up the chase. Alright. Apparently McLaren are going to pit Norris then. For a fastest lap point. I mean, they could use the fastest lap point against Ferrari, really. Because Ferrari are going to take a big chunk of points out of them today. Sylvester Stallone waving the flag, huh? Alright, why not? It's Vegas. Yeah, Norris is in the pits. You know, there's not many races to go. There's really not many races to go, but I'd say Ferrari right now, they look good to maybe just nick the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, I think it'll all come down to next week. If McLaren make a hash of next week, I think Ferrari might just use that that momentum to just keep pushing and finish ahead. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's still a decent amount of points, I think, between McLaren and Ferrari, but Ferrari are closing it down. We're getting very, very close to the end of the season. It's going to be touch and go. That said, it could be just like the Drivers' Championship, and all it takes is one win out of McLaren, and then it's done. So we'll see. Piastri won there last year as well with the sprint. One of the very, very few times that Max Verstappen was not winning last year. Either way, it's been a long, long drought. It's been a long old time for Ferrari, and it's been even longer since McLaren has won the Constructors' Championship. It has been since 1998 since McLaren's done it. Which is just incredible. The Total Wolf there. Esteban Gutierrez still, for some reason, hanging out in the Mercedes garage. I think he like hides in a closet or hides in like a locker or something, and they just transport him around the world just unwillingly, unknowingly. He emerges every session, puts on a spare set of headphones, still wearing the same old Mercedes 2017 gear. And just nobody's asked him about anything. Nobody said, "Hey, what do you actually do here?" By the way, George Russell onto the back straight for the final time. 7.4 seconds now to Hamilton. It's all over. Leclerc is 2.3 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. Now, is Sainz going to end up staying there? Because I still haven't heard anything about a penalty for him. Whatever. So it might be Sainz, it might be Leclerc on the podium. Who knows? One thing's for... Or it might even be Sainz down to 5th. Verstappen 4th. One thing is for certain. George Russell is about to win this race. Comes around the final corner. And wins. 3rd win of the year. 2nd official win of the year. Let's see if he keeps this one too. Lewis Hamilton in 2nd. So a great... I mean, he was saying, I think half in jest that he almost walked out with these 3 races to go after Brazil because it was so rubbish, but he's done great. Sainz 3rd, Leclerc 4th, Verstappen 5th, world champion. Once again a world champion, 4-time world champion. Amazing. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, that's Norris. The fastest lap in the end. So he does get that extra point, but it does not matter. It really doesn't matter. So, I mean, McLaren have picked up 1 more point. That's that. Piastri 7th. Hulkenberg 8th. Tsunoda 9th. Checo Perez 10th after everything is said and done. 10th place. Alonso, Magnussen, Joe, Guan Yu, then Colapinto, Stroll, Lawson, Ocon, Bottas dead last. That's a big, big pile of shit for Sauber. Big pile of shit for Alpine, with Gasly not finishing either. Not great out of Liam Lawson either. Sonoda's in the points and he's down to 16th. Whoops. Shit. Maybe Yuki will end up getting that seat. Who knows? Either way. Fuck it. It's all over now. Max Verstappen is the winner. Not of today, but of the war. Max Verstappen wins the championship. Well done. Well done, lad. Well done. I mean, you almost get used to saying it now. Max Verstappen, reigning, defending, undisputed world champion. 4 in a row. Just like Seb. Just like Schumacher. Just like Fangio. Just like Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen. 4 in a row for Red Bull, just like Seb. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, this is it. This is really only right. I think Max has absolutely. There's been a couple of iffy moments. There's Russell's celebrating his win. Russell just going predictably crazy on the radio. And they're going to do a bit of formation. That might be the final time that we see Lewis Hamilton involved in a Mercedes 1-2. Driver of the day as well, Lewis Hamilton. So well done. My personal driver of the day, yeah, maybe Lewis as well. He was a good comeback. 10th to 2nd. That was good. It was very good. He did it absolutely brilliantly. That does look fantastic. All of these cars just kind of together. What is that, about 5, 9, 10, and 11? Good stuff. Yeah, I think it was only... Oh, a bit more Verstappen radio here. Yeah, just thanking the team. Yep. Pretty bog standard. He should be getting used to this now. I think Norris tried sort of to do a championship run, you know. I was never that convinced by it. I thought that they left it too late. I think that Max Verstappen winning, 7 races to start the season, like 7 at the first 9 or 10 or whatever it was. I think that he was absolutely brilliant. He was brilliant, and he is the deserving champion. Absolutely is deserving champion. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a special slot for Max Verstappen winning the championship on the grid after the race is all said and done. So that was good. That was a fun race. That was fun. What do we think? 3.5 stars? Maybe a light 4, a solid 3.5. It was very fun. It was very entertaining. It was a nice, solid, good race. It was like a nice pint of beer and a cigarette. Just nice. Enjoyable, fun, lovely, hearty stuff. It was great. Max Verstappen climbs out of his car. There's going to be a lot of happy faces down there. Carlos Sainz as well has stayed 3rd, so that's very surprising. I was not expecting that. I thought that he would have been pinged and panoed basically as soon as he came into the pits the next lap, but I guess not. So we'll see if Max comes out with a special helmet for next week. How many times in F1 history have we had the championship won on Saturday 2 years in a row? That's a question for the stats. Either way, thank God it's not one in the sprint. Well done, Max Verstappen. Well done, Mercedes, a 1-2. They looked like they were capable of definitely getting a 1-2. Qualifying didn't go their way, but pole to win for George Russell. 10th to 2nd for Hamilton. Amazing work out of Lewis. I mean, Ferrari got beaten today, but it's going to be very interesting to see what Lewis can do at Ferrari next year. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's a brand new team. It's definitely not his team. It is definitely Charles Leclerc's team. It's a new environment, and he's going up again. I mean, again, Russell won. Russell won this weekend. Russell put it on pole, and he won, and Lewis didn't. And this is the 3rd time Russell has won a race. The 2nd time, hopefully, that he gets to keep it. I can't wait to see what Lewis can do next week. Next week, right? Well, yeah, next week, why not? But also next year at Ferrari, because it could be monumental between him and Leclerc. It really, really could be, especially if the car is up for a championship fight. I think we could be in for one of the seasons to remember. Who knows what Red Bull are going to do? Alonso and Verstappen having a little moment there. Max Verstappen with his hero and Alonso with his hero. God bless. It'll be interesting to see what Mercedes can do next year. It'll be interesting to see what McLaren can do next year. Ferrari is going to be very, very intriguing. I mean, there's still 2 races to go this year, but I cannot fucking wait for next year. I get the feeling we're in for one of the seasons of all time. I really think that if the competitive order stays basically as it is now, which it looks like it well could. Adrian Newey isn't there to give Red Bull any more magic bullets. McLaren looks strong. Mercedes looks strong. Ferrari looks strong. I doubt anybody's going to go super revolutionary for their car designs next year, especially not with the next set of rules coming in 26. I think it's mostly going to be evolution, unless you're somebody like, say, Sauber, Aston Martin, then you throw everything you can at it. We could have 3 or 4 teams going for a championship next year, Drivers' Championship at least. We really could, and God knows what's going to happen with that second Red Bull seat. God knows what's going to happen with Red Bull in general. Is this going to be Max Verstappen's final championship for now? Because my money, I don't know which of McLaren, which of Ferrari could be champion next year, but I get the feeling it's going to go that way. I don't know what Red Bull's going to cook up over the winter, but that car has just never looked dangerous like it did all of last year, 2022, 2021, you know. It looked absolutely infallible, and now it's struggling to, I mean, it's won 1 race since fucking June. Like, it is struggling. So we'll see what Max Verstappen can do next year. It's a clean slate. Does Max in his own car? Okay. George Russell is the kind of guy to sit in the middle of the cab when there's only one other guy there. God bless. Anyway, I think... And Lewis... Nah, Lewis, you gotta go the other side. There you go. I mean, that's Vegas for you. It's gonna be a... I've noticed nobody really wants to, like, talk about wham, it's show over, everything like that, because it's a good race, it's a good track, and I just want to say, I called it. I called it last year before they even got there. It was going to be a good race. M4X. I mean, yeah, that works. Well done. Max Verstappen, 4-time champion. Amazing. Constructors' Championship, wide open. It could be any of them. It could be McLaren, it could be Ferrari. It probably won't be Red Bull. And Mercedes are way out of it, but look at them winning today. Bless. Anyway, what else have we got in the wash-up today? McLaren, I haven't even seen McLaren. I barely saw them on the broadcast at all. I haven't really seen them post-race. I think Norris is entering his punished arc. He's been copying a lot of shit as well this year, I've noticed. A lot of people are like turning against him, but these people are new fans. They're Drive to Survive fans for the most part, and they are a fucking unbearable bunch of assholes who cannot fuck off from the sport soon enough, in my opinion. We'll see what Norris can do next year. It was a reasonable fight. It wasn't a great one. I don't think he ever really thought that he was going to be in it. I didn't really think he was ever going to be in it. He sort of started to impose himself, but then it just kind of fell apart last week. So he's got a lot to work on next year on himself, and he's also got a lot to do with Piastri next year, because Piastri, another tough day at the office. Not great with that start penalty, and only really came back so far after that. Hulkenberg 8, so great for Haas. Tsunoda 9th, ahead of Checo Perez, so who knows what's going to happen. It'll be fun to watch. Either way, the race has been over for a while now, so I think it's time for me to wave a check-in on this stream as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching, wherever you're watching from, I hope you are okay putting up with me sniffing a whole bunch. I've been quite ill, actually, so hopefully none of that shit next week. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you again next week in Qatar, Saturday and Sunday, sprint race and actual race, and it's going to be one more of those arsehole times in the morning. Pray for me, guys. Fucking pray for me. And then Abu Dhabi afterwards, and then that's it. And we'll see what I'm going to do next year, because I'll be at 2 of the first 3 races. I won't be able to stream until round 4. Can't remember where that is. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, fuck it.